One thing toy companies always want to do is save money. So today we're going to look at sometimes toy companies reuse the same mold to sell you a toy you already basically had. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. That's right. Can you believe it's time for another video already? Seems like we just did a video, doesn't it? So what are we going to talk about today? Well, be honest with you, this is a video I've kind of done before, but this is updated. I've added some more information here. Back in 2007, back when I was still in the closet, can you believe I've been doing videos that long? I did a video where we looked at the time Kenner reused a lot of the same Star Wars molds for other toy lines. And then I did a video a couple years ago how the Robin Hood action figure line used a lot of other toy lines to make the Robin Hood figures, Superpower and Star Wars mostly. But I figured it was time to update that video. So if you think you've seen this video already, you have, but there's some new information in here also. But now let me waste your time to tell you that you can support this channel by becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member. All the information on how to do that is in the links below in the description. There you get videos early, commentary if I can get off my lazy ass and get some up, and some other things here and there. And you can always support this channel by going over to junkmanmerch.com and getting a cool t-shirt like this one right here. Now, I've wasted your time long enough. So we're going to go all the way back to the 70s, 1978, and look at a Big Jim toy that became famous with the He-Man toy line. In 1978, the Big Jim action figure line had a tiger. That tiger was reused as part of the 1983 Masters of the Universe line to make everyone's favorite house-trained pussycat, Cringer, or better known as the Battle Cat, when he has on his battle armor. As you can see here, they used the same mold. As for the Evil Panther figure, under that velvet purple fur is all green, as it was used by the same mold also. It's just the Cringer Tiger without the stripes. After being burned so many times on movie action figure lines, Mattel needed to save costs for its Demolition Man action figure line. So when it was time to make the Sylvester Stallone action figure, they looked back to see what other figures that may have fit the build. And they found He-Man from their relaunched 1990 action figure line. So after some retooling, that He-Man action figure became Demolition Man. And here's something I found a little curious. This action figure here from the relaunched 1990 He-Man line has a head that looks very much like Sylvester Stallone, almost like a Rambo figure. Although I'm not sure this was something reused from the Mattel line, it does look like it could have been. Now, probably the most famous toy line that borrowed from other toy lines has to be the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves line. Fitting name, right? Prince of Thieves, because they sure did steal from Star Wars, RoboCop, and Superpowers. So let's take a look at the action figures from that line, and even the playset that borrowed the molds from previous toy lines. Let's take a look at the Robin Hood action figure. He has a G on his belt. Have you ever noticed that? What's that G stand for? No, it's not Good Samaritan. It stands for Green Arrow, as the body of the Robin Hood action figure was just a Superpowers Green Arrow figure. Let's take a closer look at Little John. The chest area was taken from a Superpowers Hulkman figure, and those legs, believe it or not, those are Batman's superpower legs. Although the knee joints have been replaced, they do have the same muscles. And what about the Dark Warrior figure? You can't really tell what figure this is based on until you take all his clothes off, and let's admit, we all did that. Its chest plate is also from the Superpowers Hulkman action figure. As for the legs, we're not really sure what they came from. Could they be an all-new mold? It's possible, but with how much is recycled for this action figure line, I really doubt it. The Azim figure also takes from different figures. Again, the legs is really unsure, but it seems to be the same legs used for the Dark Warrior. The chest area of the figure is a Superpowers Shazam figure, and parts from the Superpowers Green Arrow figure was used again, this time the arms. The Sheriff of Nottingham also has parts from Superpowers. The arms, again, is from the Superpowers Green Arrow figure, and the body is from the Superpowers Lex Luthor. But what about the head? Even it was reused. That head was first used for the Chainsaw figure from Kenner's RoboCop line. What about Will Scarlet? Well, the upper part of his body was taken from a Superpowers Robin figure. What about those legs? Well, they're taken from a Superpower figure also, Darkseid. Now, you think the Fat Fire Tuck action figure was taken from a Superpowers Penguin, but no, it wasn't. Take his clothes off and you can clearly see that body is a Gamorrean guard. And although the figures did take a lot from Superpowers, they did take a lot from Star Wars, especially in the playset area. The Return of the Jedi Ewok Village became Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest. Of course, they added some treetops, and to me, made the playset a little better. The Star Wars Power of the Force Ewok Battle Wagon became Robin Hood Battle Wagon. The Robin Hood Battle Wagon, well, it came with the Ewok Catapult. Whew, that's Robin Hood for you, right? Stealing molds from the rich to give to the poor. But let's look at Star Wars. First, we'll start with how Kenner took stuff from their past to get Star Wars toys to the market. Kenner was in a hurry to get Star Wars product to the store, so they looked back in their archives to see what they could retool and slap a Star Wars name on. Many of the items they retooled came from the $6 Million Man line. The HB headset radio receiver, worn by every fan of the $6 Million Man, was retooled and painted to the Luke Skywalker AM headset radio. Kenner had a line of paint design books called Dip Dots. One of the most popular was the $6 Million Man, so they quickly rechanged it to Star Wars. One thing kids loved from the $6 Million Man television show was every time Steve Austin brushed his teeth. Well, Kenner repackaged that toothbrush as the Star Wars toothbrush, which I believe was based on a deleted scene where Uncle Owen gets upset at Luke Skywalker for not brushing his teeth before going to Tokyo Station. Whoa! Take these two over to the garage. I want them cleaned up before dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
You can waste time with your friends after you have used your Star Wars laser toothbrush.
All right, come on.
Kenner was having big success before Star Wars with his SSP van line, so they repainted those SSP vans into Star Wars vans, and they became a cult classic. But they needed to get a game to the market quickly, and one of the games they had a few years before was Aerial Aces, a Target game. So they repainted that, made it a Star Wars theme, and called it X-Wing Aces Target Game. I'm glad they kept the word Aces. And Kenner would also use some of his Star Wars mold for other toy lines. In 1979, when Kenner launched its Western action figure line, Real West, they needed a saloon. So what did? They took the Star Wars Cantina playset, retooled it, and resold it as the Western Cafe playset. I guess they didn't want to put saloon on a kid's toy. And some people believe that the Sundance Kid action figure uses the head of a Bespin Luke. I'll let you make your decision on that. Kenner even took from Star Wars to make girl toys. Ugh, girl toys. We all know about the Melloway Star Wars action figure stand. Well, it was retooled into the Glamour Gals fashion stand. Oh, how dare they. When Kenner went to work on an Ewok Playhouse, they went back to the 70s, as they planned to recycle their Treetop Playhouse. But it seems Lucasfilm wasn't happy with Kenner's plan to just repackage an old 70s toy as an Ewok toy. So they modified it just a little bit and released the Ewok Family Hut. The toy is so fun, kids want to get their hair cut to look like it. And of course it makes sense when Kenner got the rights for the Indiana Jones figures, and when they wanted to make the 12-inch Indiana Jones large size action figure, they took the Han Solo, painted the eyes blue, and darkened the hair. Yep, Indiana Jones still has that 70 wavies haircut. In the late 80s, Kenner planned to release a role-playing laser rifle from its RoboCop line. So what did they do? They went to the Star Wars archives and retooled the laser rifle carrying case. The planned RoboCop one wouldn't be a carrying case, it would be a role-playing toy, but they would have used the same mold. However, Kenner decided not to release this toy. But in the early 90s, they did release a Batman toy that looked very familiar to Star Wars fans. The Sonic Neutralizer, hope I said that one right, was just a modified version of the 3-position laser rifle released by Kenner under the Star Wars brand years ago. Well, that's a look at recycled toys. I'm sure all toy companies do it, and I'm sure there's some here that I didn't cover. So if you know some that I didn't talk about, let me know that in the comments below. I would love to do a part 2 of this series. Hopefully some of these you didn't know about, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them you did, especially the Robin Hood. It's probably the most famous for recycling molds. Anyway, let me know what you think about this and more in the comments below. And subscribe to the channel, thumb up so I know you like my content, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.